You ever think about how far you'd go to get your child back? Now imagine when you do,
She's alive.
but something else comes back instead. That's the premise behind Lee Cronin's new film, The Mummy. And I'm here to tell you that it earns every second of that dread. If Lee Cronin's other film, Evil Dead Rise, hits you right in the gut, then this film is going to do the exact same thing. The difference is that this one goes somewhere just a little bit darker and more twisted. Because this isn't your typical classic mummy movie. There's no Brandon Fraser, there's no treasure hunt, there's no adventure. This is grief, possession, body horror, wrapped inside desert mythology. And if that combination sounds heavy, it's because it is. A journalist's daughter vanishes into the desert without a trace. Then 8 years later, she comes back. Now, on paper, that sounds like a family reunion, but it's not. That's because this isn't a rescue story. It's a slow, creepy realization that something ancient came back wearing her skin. Now, this movie really wants to stretch that tension. You want it to be her, and every time you think, well, maybe this is
Don't
her,
worry, Grandma.
the movie pulls a rug from underneath you, and it doesn't let you off the hook. And that's where possession horror lives and dies. The best films in this subgenre don't scare you with what's there. They scare you with what used to be. Now, this film hits multiple horror lanes, and it actually blends them all a lot better than some do. So let me break it down for you. The body horror aspect. The physical transformation is where this film gets under your skin. Literally. Slow decay, unnatural movement, the creepy sense that her body is being rewritten. Now, this isn't a jump scare horror. This is this horror that sits with you and makes you uncomfortable as you squirm in your seat. And there was plenty of that in this film. You've got the possession religious horror aspect, and this is where the Exorcist comparisons come into play here. But instead of the Catholic guilt, this film leans into the ancient Egyptian mythology. Different rules, different fear. And that shift keeps it fresh. Because, like I said in my other video, if you don't know the rules, you don't know how to survive it. And believe it or not, there was a small found footage aspect in this film, which I think it's very effective because the tape shows what happens to Katie. And it's effective because you get to watch the parents in total discomfort as they're watching their little girl become this thing, which is great because it removes all the mystery and in the worst way possible. If you are new to this channel and you're liking what I'm doing here, hit that subscribe button so you can keep getting all your horror content right here on this channel. But let's keep going. Now, as far as the pacing and structure of this film, this is where I thought it was going to have problems because it's listed as a 2 hour and 14-minute movie. And you know as well as I do, any horror movie that's over 2 hours long, they almost always overstay their welcome. But not in this one. The first hour is where it does all the heavy lifting because it builds the mythology. It explains the why behind the mummy, as well as all the family dynamics that's going on with everyone that's involved with this thing. And because of that foundation, the second half of this film hits so much harder because you're not just watching horror, you're watching this family fall apart in real time. James Wan is one of the producers on this film, and you can see his fingerprints from The Conjuring and Insidious because you've got the sound design, some of the tension that builds the same, and even the scare structure is similar. But there's a big difference. This movie isn't polished the same way. It's meaner, it's more uncomfortable, and it's less about the clean scares and more about that dread. And that's where this film walks that line perfectly, or at least better than most. But as you know me, I like to keep it real. Where does this film fall short? Well, the Exorcist in Egypt comparison is unavoidable. You can see some of the reviews on it already. Some of the beats did feel borrowed. So if you've seen enough possession films, you'll know when it's coming. But here's my read on it: the mythology is distinct enough, and the tone is uncomfortable enough that it doesn't feel like a true copy. It feels like a film that knows its own lineage and it uses it and it does its own thing. Look, bottom line on this film is that I had a great time with this film. It didn't feel like 2 hours. And I was hoping there was a little credit at the end where there was a possible part two coming, but it didn't show anything, but you never know. This movie blended body horror, possession horror, religious dread, and emotional trauma, and the found footage aspect, and it worked all together perfectly. This film is heavy, it's uncomfortable, and it sticks with you long after the credits roll. And if you want a horror movie that stays with you after you leave the theater, instead of just regular jump scares, then The Mummy is worth your time to go see on the big screen. For those of you that have seen this movie, what do you think of it? Is my review of this spot on, or do you have a different take? You know what to do. Drop it in the comments below. If you like this video and you want more horror breakdowns, topics, and discussions, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my horror content. So until next time, go check out my other videos. Or if you want something more specific, go check out the one I did about why nothing in horror scares you anymore. But more importantly, don't get too scared. Take care, guys.